In this video, we're going to talk about topic 5.4, we're continuing that one, and we're going to look at example 4. So the graph of h prime is shown above the derivative of h, and then it's asking us a whole bunch of questions about it. So the first thing I like to do is I like to turn it into a sign chart. If I can get it into a sign chart, I know I can make it make sense. So luckily we have the derivative graph. So I'm going to start with my intervals. I am looking for everywhere I know my critical numbers are where the derivative is equal to 0. So I'm going to use those three critical numbers. So I go negative infinity to negative 2, negative 2 to 0, 0 to 1, and 1 to infinity. And this time, you don't really need to pick x values in between. I guess you could, but it really doesn't matter because you can just look at the intervals kind of on the graph. So I'm going to skip that and I'm going to go right to what is my derivative saying. And I have to look at my graph, and I'm going to be looking at either whether it's above or below the x-axis. So I notice that f prime to begin with is above the x-axis, so it's positive. Between negative 2 and 0, it's above the x-axis, so it's still positive. Finally, between 0 and 1, it goes negative, so it's below the x-axis. And then it goes positive again, it comes above the x-axis. So what does that mean? At f, we know that anytime it's positive, it's increasing. And anytime it's negative, it's decreasing. And then I could also look at my maxes and mins. I have increasing to increasing, so there's nothing there. Increasing to decreasing would be a max. And decreasing to increasing would be a min. So now let's go and look at what our questions say. At one intervals is h increasing. So we would say h of x is, and I should have used an h here, not an f, huh? Sorry about that. H of x is increasing on negative infinity to negative 2, negative 2 to 0, and 1 to infinity, because h prime of x is positive, or you could say is greater than 0 on these intervals. Okay. Does h have a local min, local max, or neither at x equals negative 2? So at negative 2, it's neither because there's no change from increasing to decreasing. So we would say at x equals negative 2, h has neither a max or a min because h prime does not change sign. Find any x values where there's a relative minimum. Explain your reasoning. So looking for a relative min is right here. So it's at x equals 1. So that h has a relative min at x equals 1 because h prime changes from negative to positive at this value.